Okay, well, thank you so much. Here is Dr. Carlos Espiche, and I was wondering if you would introduce yourself, tell us where you've come from and what you're doing now.
Hi, I'm Carlos. I'm IMG from Peru. I'm currently a PGY3 of internal medicine and chief medical resident in the Bronx, in San Barnabas Hospital. I did some years of hospitals in Peru. I did some experience in medical education. I had some experience in medical education. Currently working with CUNY, with the City University of New York, doing some research also in Montefiore Medical Center and also in CUNY. It's really nice to be here, and I'm glad to be next to all the other panelists.
Okay, thank you. So, Carlos, I know, so it's just a couple of weeks away from match week, and I can't imagine how stressful this is for those who have applied and are waiting for that Monday of match week. Can you tell us or help us understand how that was for you and maybe give a little bit of advice to your, fellow IMGs about how they can make this time maybe a little less stressful or how they can handle it a little better.
Sure. Well, I had a different pathway in that aspect because I was part of a pre-match program, so I knew where I was going in October of the year where I applied. But I have also applied to cardiology, and I know how it is to wait until a day where they are going to tell you if you did match or didn't match. And I think it's an important date. I know that everyone could be a little stressed or having different thoughts about how you were in your interviews or with things you could have been done better or different in your preparation. But I think at this point you should try to relax, try to just get to that date as relaxed as possible and expecting any of the possibilities. Right, currently all the specialties, including internal medicine, including psychiatry, surgical specialties, and everything is really competitive. It's also competitive afterwards when you finish internal medicine. So always think that you have two options: to go into the match or not to go into the match, of course. If it's the first one, well, congratulations, you will be part of internal medicine, and hopefully it's the one that you want or is a place that you want to be. And if it's not, you have to have in your mind first that it's a possibility. Try to accept that. The other thing is that to have a plan B, something else that you could do, and you could have also that in your mind. And the third thing is that don't let it get you down. Try to always have a plan B that is focused on trying to apply again or trying to get into the next step. That is going to be reapply or doing something in the soap, for example. After the match, there's some period of time where you can go into a pool of specialties that were not chosen by any chance, and you can choose from them and try to figure out if there's any specific spot that you could fit. So that's a good option too. For example, if it's something that you're willing to do. So have always a plan B. Try to always focus in the objective that is going to be to match. Unfortunately, not everyone matched in the first time, and it's okay. And the pathways are different, but it's going to be the same goal or the same objective at the end of the day. So even if you take one more year or it takes 2 more years to match into your perfect position, it's okay. Most of us, we have a lot of failures during our careers, had a lot of different problems that we are going to overcome at some point. So I think if you see those who you admire or those who are in the different position than you will you will learn that most of them they had a lot of difficulties in their pathways. So it's okay to have them that too, and it's a growing opportunity also for you. I personally, for example, I didn't match this year for cardiology. and it's okay. Like, I mean, it was one of the most competitive fellowships, and my next thought is, well, now what I'm going to do? Now what I'm going to do to change that situation? And that's the mindset, to try to figure out which is the next step, which is the next thing to do to match into whatever you want. And if, of course, you want to change plans and do something, some other specialty or do something else, it's okay too. So it's at the end, it's up to you, but don't miss the objective. Just continue working on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for that, Carlos. So next, I'd like to ask you a little bit about you touched on mindset. And so for those who find themselves on Friday of match week and they haven't matched, I'd like for you to explain a little more about where their mindset should be and maybe even some action steps that can help them sort of push past, those kind of negative thoughts or places emotionally.
So when you don't match, you have, of course, it's like breaking up, or like having a really bad emotion or a really bad situation that is going to take you a little bit, a small period of time of grief, of course, where you are going to try to figure out why this happened, or try to get all these questions in your mind saying, why I did match, why I did wrong. But instead of focusing on what you are like, what you did wrong, is what you're going to do next, what you're going to change in your plan to achieve your goal. So probably one of the things that you at this point must have any kind of mentorship. Like probably you will have a mentor already. If you don't, you can try to figure out or to get one to try to put another eyes in your application and try to give you an advice of what you can change to do the things different. So at this point, when you didn't match, don't ask yourself why I didn't match. Is like what I'm going to do to match next year. That's probably the change of mindset that you have to have in your mind. I had a personal experience. For example, like I didn't pass the first exam, the step 2 CS when I took it. It was, I remember that my problem was English proficiency when they put me like in the failed scale, or in the failed like position. And right now I'm doing a lot of conferences, I'm doing a lot of work in community outreach, and I think I overcome this situation after this happened. So it's not about what happened and basically what the situation was at that moment. Is what you're going to do afterwards. Is what you're going to change in your application. So I know that you have 1 year until the next match. So what you can do in that year is maybe extend your publications. If you know that you have like 3, 4 publications coming up, then you will say, okay, I will work on that. If you have like, for example, a kind of work that you're going to do during this period of time, during this year, like going to the US and making more connections, you can also work on that. If you feel that your application was more about an specific thing. For example, you fail one of the exams, try to figure out how to overcome that. Maybe taking the step 3, that it will show that you are already overcome those other situations. So try to figure out which is your first, do a diagnosis of your application with a mentor, and then work on that because you have already a lot of time to work on. I think it's the best mindset to do. And of course, it's okay to have a period of grief, where you're going to be sad, you're going to have these different emotions coming up. But at the end of the day, you need to focus more in what you're going to do next. Because if you just go down into that sadness, into that bitterness of not matching, then you are not going to be able to try to get into the next steps.
Thank you. Okay, Carlos, next I'm going to ask you about those, so they come down to match day and they say you're matched, and so they know on Friday where they're going, and so hopefully they'll have time to celebrate, but then what happens after that? I feel like there could be a lot of anxiety around a new job and, just it's like you've realized a dream, but then now reality is setting in. And so if you have any advice about mindset there and also maybe priorities.
So when you match first, congratulations. Of course, you're going to be really excited to go to the place where you wanted to be. Of course, try to figure out where are you going. If that place you already had some research about it, probably you did already when you went to the interview. So I know that there's a lot of questions, but I think there are some priorities always. First, try to figure out where you're going, try to contact them and try to tell them that you are really grateful for the opportunity and everything. And of course, start working first on your visa situation. Probably most of you will have an IMG situation like me, and you will need J1 or H1B visa. And it's a short period of time from March to July to do like J1B visa. H1 is a little more, even more difficult. So some of the programs will have already maybe contact you immediately, but you have to start working on that. Probably that's the first thing that you should try to solve. You could have match, but if you don't have a visa, you don't have the approval from the government of US, you will not be able to come and do the residency. So unfortunately, it's like that. So the first thing that you have to be worried about is your visa situation. Get all everything, even from this point. If you see that your passport is going to be most of the time, I think most of the countries have the same rule. It's 6 months until it's going to be expired. So your passport is going to be expiring within the next 6 months. Be worried about it from this moment. So try to maybe change your passport at this point, so you don't have to wait until the match day to have the passport updated and everything, because you will encounter this kind of delays during your process, and it will be even like something that even doesn't depend on your knowledge, doesn't depend on your capacities that you already prove, but it depends more in the process of getting of getting the visa and getting everything. So I think that's the first thing I will worry about. And the other thing is, of course, where you're going to live, how you're going to uh, pay all of this. We have to be honest, there's a lot of implications in coming from one country to another one, getting a lot of spendings in different stuff. Initially, when you rent an apartment, for example, you will need to have a security deposit and also pay the fee of the broker. If you're in some states, for example, in US and in New York, you have to pay the broker almost 1 month. So you will have to have idea of how you're going to cost, like to do all of this. So that's the other thing that you have to have in mind. And I mean, it's the second thing I will be worry about, how I'm going to move, what I'm going to do. I remember, for example, that before coming to the US, well, before coming to my program, I came like February. On February, I knew that I matched on October 2021, and on February 2022, I came here to get try to get a bank account, a credit card. At the moment, Citibank, they helped me a lot, so they opened an account for me. I even applied for a credit card. They gave me the credit card, and when I came here, it was easier to do everything, because when you have a credit card, you have a bank account, and everything is easier for everything to do things. So I mean, you can oversee these kind of situations and try to overcome it faster if you have a plan of how to do it. So don't just be anxious. Anxiety is going to be something that is going to be part of the process. It could be anxiety because of excitement, with excitement, or with sadness if it doesn't happen like you wanted. But at the end of the day, it's not about the emotion, it's about what you're going to do afterwards. How can you prepare for the next steps? What you're going to do for the next steps?
Mhm. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Carlos. The final question, yay, is about you were talking about mentorship. And I have had the experience where people come to me, really late in the cycle and they want me to help them and mentor them. And it's not too late. I always, help them whatever I can. But I see that those who come early usually do better. And it doesn't seem to be something that's talked about very much. So, what are your thoughts about that? And I know you probably mentor people also. So, what is your idea about that and what advice can you give?
So first of all, always try, as I said before, like try to do a diagnosis of where you're lacking. And of course, if something is lacking in your social skills or in your communication skills, you have to have a mentor in that aspect. If you're lacking of research skills or you're not like you're not doing a lot of publications, and you know that publications is the thing that is dragging you out of the process, then go with a mentor that helps you with the research. If you think that it's just an overall problem in the whole application, come with someone that already applied, that already successfully applied, and maybe they can teach you how you can change the things or the wording in your application and do something different. So what I'm saying is that you have to have a lot of different mentors in different aspects, depending on what is your diagnosis or what you want. And it's okay to have several mentors at the same time. You can have someone that is helping you with the communication skills, someone that is helping you with research, another one is helping you with the application overall, another one that is going to be someone that is already in the residency, and why not someone that is going to help you to go into that program that you want. So also that you can have that kind of mentors that they're already in a program that is your dream program and you want to go into that one, and you will feel like one of the ways to do it is to learn from those who are already in the program that you want. So if you want to go to a specific hospital, try to contact people that is already there and try to get a mentor connected with you from that hospital. So your chances to match there are going to increase. So I think mentorship is something crucial. And not, I'm not talking also just for the ones, the mentees, the one that are going to get the mentorship, but also talking to the mentors, because I know that most or several people that is listening to this, they could be in the position to be a mentor. And even you, after you apply and after you match, you could be a mentor of other IMG that is applying also, or your friend. And this happened with me a lot. For example, I had a friend that is Alejandro Revilla, and now is my PCP, is my primary care physician. And he was also my friend in med school. He was chief medical resident in Peru as hospitalist. Chief hospitalist actually, and he helped me to get into that job. And then when he came here to San Barnabas, I said, "Hey, I want also to go to US. I also want to go to the hospital. I know that you are in San Barnabas. How could I get there?" And he recommended me. He rooted for me, and he helped me a lot. And now I'm here. I'm also a chief medical resident now. He was a chief medical resident at that moment. So that's a good way to do it. For example, you have to help the other people that is coming behind you. And now, for example, now I have helped several of my friends to come here and they are successful in doing their internship year or their next steps. And of course, I'm learning a lot also from them. So even if you're a mentor, you will gain a lot from those who are your mentees. And the positions can change. At some point, if they achieve something that you want to achieve, they're going to become your mentor in that aspect. For example, one of my mentees or people that is there is really good at research, I will learn from them. If one of my mentees is really good at communication networking, I will learn from them. So it's not one way of gaining. I think when you are doing mentorship, it's two ways. They're going to give you something, and you're going to give you another thing. So that is an interchange of different aspects or different skills that maybe you will get to know when you are doing the process of doing whatever you want help into. So yes, I think that's a good thing. It's the same thing as in education. When you are doing education, you're teaching something, you're learning a lot. So for me, at least, the best way of learning is to teach. And it's the same thing with mentorship. The best way to get help is to help someone else.
Well, Carlos, I do appreciate it. And I'm just remembering that you have a master's in education, and so do I. So I know that you love teaching as well as I do. So I appreciate it. And I wanted to tell everybody that this is being recorded because tonight you're getting the night of the actual panel event. You're becoming a member of the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society. Tell us what that is really quick so they can, aspire to that one day.
So, and you will see it, and you probably already know that when you are applying into the areas, there's a little box says there if you are part of Alpha Omega Alpha Society. Basically, it's a medical honor society that it comes from more than 100 years, and it has like more than 55 Nobel Prizes that are part of the society. It's a society that is usually for the last years of the medical school here in the US. Most of the programs of medical schools, they are part of these chapters or chapters from the society. And the students who are usually maybe not the best, but the ones that are more highlighted by their peers, or they have a research or academical achievements, they are part of this society. Usually, that's the usual way to do it. But when you're a resident or you're a fellow and someone from the university that you're affiliated, in my case, the City University of New York, recognize that on you, they will like propose you as part of the society to the committee. So if they approve you and they say yes, well, he's a good candidate. He has the values and the skills that we need in to be into our society. They will give you a long time or long term membership. So it's for all your life. It's like a award or an honor to be part of this kind of society where they are basically highlighting any aspect of your residency or fellowship or academical achievement during your medical schools. And of course, it will help you also when you are doing an application afterwards. Unfortunately, we don't have that in other countries. I think the most of the medical schools from different parts of the world, they won't be part of this society. But here in the U.S., over 75% of the deans of the medical schools, they are part of the Alpha Omega Alpha Society. So that it's a good thing for you and for your career. I think it's a recognition that you're doing things well. It's good to be part of the society in the aspect that it will also give you the opportunity to uh, inspire more people to do that, to do excellence in research or excellence in academic skills or in community outreach, trying to strength basically whatever you're doing, residency, fellowship, or medical school.
Well, and it looks beautiful on your wall.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Well, thank you so much for, giving us your valuable time. I really appreciate it. And I'm hoping to hear back from you about your award and hopefully we can work together in the future more also to help other IMGs and pay it forward, right?
Sure, of
Okay.
course. Well, thank you very much for the interview and thank you for the questions. And I'm glad to help anyone. And if you want to contact me, probably you can share my LinkedIn or you can share also my Instagram page. Both of them, I'm going to reply. I don't have bots or anyone replying.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.